Ronald Reagan once said, "Government is like a baby, an elementary canal with a big appetite at one end and no sense of responsibility at the other." No sense of responsibility? Yeah, like the duty to tell the truth. Consider these two whoppers from recent years.
More than 90% of the guns recovered in Mexico come from the United States, many from gun shops that line our shared border.
Or how about this one?
The way to make government responsible is to hold it accountable. And the way to make government accountable is make it transparent so that the American people can know exactly what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and whether their interests are being well served.
That last one comes from Barack Obama's first day in office. It kind of rings hollow today, however, now that Obama's Justice Department appears to be in the midst of a massive cover-up, even cracking down on federal agents who are blowing the whistle on abuses committed within the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The murder of federal agent Brian Terry in December exposed a trail of government corruption. The ATF was working with gun shops and approving the sales of firearms to suspected gun smugglers. Now, one wonders why we never hear New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg ever talk about this. He's the one who made headlines recently after he employed a team of undercover investigators. He wanted them to ferret out gun dealers who were supposedly willing to bend the law and make sales to questionable characters. A CBS News report, however, tells a completely different story. It shows gun dealers actually trying to prevent the sales of firearms from going to suspected bad guys. CBS has reported that several gun shops, quote, wanted to stop the questionable sales, but ATF encouraged them to continue. ATF Special Agent John Dodson says he was under orders to do so.
You were intentionally letting guns go to Mexico?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, the agency was.
An alcohol, tobacco, and firearms senior agent assigned to this Phoenix office since 2010, Dodson's job is to stop gun trafficking across the border. Instead, he says he was ordered to sit by and watch it happen. Investigators call the tactic letting guns walk, in this case into the hands of criminals who would use them in Mexico and the U.S.
This is quite ironic, since the Obama administration has repeatedly stated that our gun rights here are somehow the source of Mexico's problems. Never mind the fact that Mexico has very strict gun control laws, which not only keep their law-abiding citizens completely disarmed, they turn them into mandatory victims. Fox News was the first agency to conduct an investigation and show that, in actuality, less than 1/5 of the guns confiscated in Mexico, not 90% as Obama claims, but less than 1/5 of them originated in the United States. Further to that, CBS News reported recently that as far back as 2008, the ATF has been watching guns flow into Mexico, even while telling American gun dealers to shelve their apprehensions about selling those firearms to suspected dealers. Hey, that means that the ATF was helping send guns into Mexico long before the president started blaming our Second Amendment for Mexico's gun violence. Imagine that. A lack of transparency from the very man who promised us that his administration was going to be different. Gun Owners of America has posted an in-depth report exposing the ATF's most recent scandal, where they knowingly approved the sales of firearms that later walked into Mexico. Be sure to also sign our recent petition to tell Congress to remove all firearms-related authority from the ATF.